First item is a Collomix mixing setup, just like the one they gave me, I think 3 years ago, that I've been using off and on, and you've seen it on the channel. Now, those of you who have ever used a 3/8 drill or a cordless drill in a 5-gallon bucket, you know what that's like. This is nothing like that. This has got the power you need to mix concrete. With 2 hands, it's controllable, so you can force the edge of the paddle down into the corner where the dry goods are still dry. It has a controllable trigger, and it's a pro-level tool. You're using the right tool for the right job, and that's always the right thing. So the one part of the giveaway that I can't speak to because I don't have one, but I can see the utility, is a metering dispensing device that screws right onto the end of the garden hose, so you can set exactly how much water you want in the batch.
When I push go, it's going to count down backwards and then stop.
Now, any of you who have done this before, any of you who have wrecked a batch of mortar by adding too much water and had to go back to get more dry material and chased your tail round and around and around to try to get it right, you can instantly see the utility of this. So big thanks to Collomix for giving one of these setups to one of our viewers. I appreciate that. They're a good company. They're family owned. Nate met them at the World of Concrete exposition in Las Vegas last year, and they are top-notch folks, and they sell a top-notch product, so check them out. The next item is 10 memberships into the Essential Craftsman Academy, and it's sponsored by a viewer who is a member of the Academy. And in case you're not familiar with it, here's what's going on there. It's a membership subscription site that includes our blacksmithing course. It includes a course on how to identify the things you've got to know before you hire a contractor. It includes trade teaching videos, all collated and in one spot. It includes a video on how to use YouTube as a marketing platform, specifically if you're a contractor. It includes costs, it includes plans, it includes just a boatload of information that will increase over time. But the thing that I am getting the most enjoyment out of, that Nate and I are enjoying the most, is the Shop Talk feature, and that is twice a month. We've got a Zoom meeting. We hang out. We show and we tell and we talk about and we explain and we all answer questions. We have experts there from most of the fields of construction that frankly require experts. And at the end of this video, Nate has edited down one of our Shop Talk hour or hour and a half sessions into a few minutes, so you can get a sense and a taste of what goes on there, because it is 2 things. It's fun and it's high value. So if you want to enter, shoot us an email. We're going to go through them. We're looking for people who have interests and crafts and who are doing things that will be interesting and that the group can frankly help them with, help you with. There's a real good chance that once we get to the end of that raft of emails, we're going to say, man, we've got to include more than just 10. So a big thank you to our sponsor. I am frankly enjoying the Shop Talks, and I will enjoy having at least 10 more guys in there. I mean, it's something that has provided sort of a feedback loop for Nate and I that we hoped for and are darn glad to have. And if you don't win, it's just not that much money. And I hope that you would at some point give it a shot. Thanks for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work. If you have specific questions for the group in the chat thread, put them in all caps, if you will, and Nate can they jump out, they pop, and we get a chance to recognize them.
Let's send it over to Lightning, who's got a question or a story about furniture.
Good.
If you're here, Lightning, take it away.
I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Lightning. Howdy.
These are the tops. So we're actually, the piece that we're building 4 desks. Inside each desk, we've got our 4 names. And then on the other side, there's a table blank of 4 built by 3 generations of Atkinsons from a pecan tree cut down that date. The top doesn't actually attach to the apron. It sets on top, and then the brown things here are slip tenons or loose tenons, and they drop in. There's a mortise in the apron and a mortise in the top. And when they drop in, it looks like that. So it's all flush.
Yeah, keep us posted, Lightning. That's terrific. Very compelling.
I'm here at there's a company that builds these they're called stream tables, and it's like, they're used in college hydraulics labs all around the world, and it's just a big table full of like plastic sand basically that mimics how streams responded to changes and things. Videos probably won't come out till middle of next year, but it's really cool. I'm really excited about it.
So you just articulated something that I think a lot of the people who consume YouTube don't see clearly, and that is there's a huge lag time between capturing the footage and actually uploading the video. And on projects like ours, where people are expecting, sort of an industry standard, level of productivity, it's got to be so frustrating that everything seems to go so slowly,
Yeah. And I mean, we started to try to produce some videos that catch the news cycle so we can tell kind of the engineering side of different news stories. And that's an even bigger challenge because, man, it takes a lot of work to research and write and shoot and edit and post-product, create the graphics, all that fun.
And I'd go up there right to the top to where it was limber enough that I could start getting those things swaying back and forth, because I just love the feeling of being on the end of a whip up off the ground. And so I've just always loved working up there. And I take somewhat seriously the complaints that come that I'm sort of justifying bad work practices, but I don't take that too far to heart, because doggone it, if you can't take a chance once in a while, it's like Benjamin Franklin said, most people die around age 23 and don't have the courtesy to be buried until they're in their 70s. And I feel much more alive working off the ground, but I think this one might be about my last shot. My reach almost exceeded my grasp, but thanks, man.
I understand. I also love heights. I've worked with a company that had a 800-foot unstayed radio tower, and my boss would not let me climb it. So I was really disappointed in that. But anyway, just keep, as you always end your videos, keep up the good work, because it's fascinating.
Thank you, Bob. You're up off the ground. Somebody is.
Talk about being up in the air. I thought I'd share a picture from the construction of my house. My sister, I sent this to my sister, and she said, "Stop doing that."
Good advice. I'm glad you didn't take it.
You guys didn't read that. He bought a knife from Xi, and you got to talk to him on the phone. Craig, if you're up for it and you want to, I'd love to hear what that experience was like.
He's the closest man to my grandfather that I've ever seen. But my grandfather would never be on, a platform. So it was just cool. And I got it from my brother-in-law, and who is like a Goldman Sachs guy. So he's not going to understand exactly, but when I show him the video of Xi making that knife, it's going to be beautiful.
That's perfect. But Xi and I used to talk on the phone like 5 mornings a week. He would call me anywhere between 5 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. So it got me out of bed, right? I don't know if that's where I learned not to wake up early, was from getting ready for Xi's phone calls starting in 2005. I don't know. And so one of the things I mourn is that now my life is structured in a different way and busy enough that I don't have time for that like I did. So I only talk to him a couple mornings a week. But it has been a treasure for me to be able to talk to that old boy and listen to what he's doing and ask him tech questions. And he reciprocates, when he needs something built. And so I will always remember that, man, there was a period of time in my life when I had access to just such a unique and incredible resource, and just such a unique guy. He's doing good. I'll just say this. He's still doing good, but he is slowing down.
This is a small Gerber.
Beautiful.
Thumb lock, just really small knife that, if you can see on the side, it says Dad. That my son gave it to me when he got married as like a groomsman gift, but I'm Dad. And he had it engraved, and I don't care how dull this thing gets, I'm always going to have it in my pocket, because there's just as much sentimental value as there is functional value. So a small thing like that can really go, a long way for your parents or your kids. Things that are personalized from family.
So my question to you is, and does anyone have advice on, what to do about that? If there is a way of maybe sort of grinding down that lip, that apron a little bit, just to correct that angle, so that it doesn't look terrible.
In my opinion, no. Grinding, especially in Colorado, grinding is going to leave a very smooth surface. Your coefficient of friction is going to be so low that the first time you get a little snow on that is going to be dangerous, even if you ground off enough to get positive drainage, which is an open question. If you don't have a quarter of an inch per foot of slope, it's questionable. And if you don't have an eighth of an inch per foot, even a rough broom texture is going to make the water leave so slowly that it's going to be wet and freezing. So in my opinion, not seeing it or knowing anything about it, call somebody who will come and jackhammer that out of there, haul it away, pull out a little bit of grade, and pour a new apron with the right slope. Now, hopefully your driveway is not so high that you can't get the positive slope that you need. Hopefully you don't have to end up taking down your whole driveway, but there could be a way to pour a little swale, a little flow line in the middle part, so that it is carried laterally or something. But I've never seen grinding provide a real solution to a drainage problem like that.
We'll jump in, Thomas, if you're still here getting your.
He's there. He's showing it, Nate.
Oh,
he's just showing it up against the camera.
Oh man, I got to change my view or something so I can see that.
I hand planed this 50 years ago.
Oh,
it's about an 1/8 inch thick, and then and I'm putting some little designs on it, and
cool,
wood burning it, and then I'm gonna make they're making the Christmas present, so I'll put the person's name on as well. And I'm making 8 or 10 of them this year.
You know that my big forge has got 2 ribbon burners in it. And you may be aware that we sell ribbon burners on the channel. I think we've sold maybe 200 of those things over the past 4 years. And it's kind of worth doing, but it's a lot of effort. But I engage with a couple of friends who help me with that. But
it's worth doing, but not to make money. It's worth doing for other reasons.
That's right. So I recently replaced the 2 ribbon burners that have been in my forge. And I had no idea how long they'd been in there burning. I mean, I've had the forge now for probably 8 or 9 years, but how many hours, I don't know. But so it was eroded. I mean, there's much less refractory here than there was when I put it in. Like, I would say it's 1/4 of an inch of the refractory is eroded. And on this end, it was getting hot enough that the steel was scaling, and it kind of, the refractory broke off there. And I mean, I didn't feel bad about that. It worked very well. And we just got an email from a guy, and Nate's pulling up the pictures there.
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember the name of his forge off the top of my head, Bar Ridge or something. And he bought a couple from us, or maybe just one. It doesn't matter. The point was he had kind of kept track of how long he'd burned, and he had run about 4,000 hours. He had run that forge hard, he said, for about 4,000 hours. And it finally gave out in a pretty much exactly the same way that mine gave out. And I just did the math on that, and it boiled down to about 6.5 cents per hour in the consumable aspect of that ribbon burner, which for me was a validation that, yeah, they're good value, because any burner you buy, I mean, you can buy nice propane burners or any other kind, they are consumed. They're living in a really hostile environment. And so it's just one more thing, frankly, that I think makes a ribbon burner a really cost-effective solution if you want to go through the drill of building a forge that includes forced air. I mean, you can get naturally aspirated propane burners that you just stick in through the side of a fireproof box and turn them on, and away they go. But if you want to take the next step and get some forced air and all of that, that's a much lower consumable cost in your actual burner. So anyhow, FYI, it's where they're pretty good. I like them. My idea is that just came out of a shop somewhere that was just cranking out the hammers, and the value to that thing, as you already know, is the fact that it was your grandfather's. Looks like it's been fairly deeply rusted.
Oh yeah, it's very deep pits.
Yeah.
And I noticed here, and on your anvil, on your hate button, you said that they tested chisels and stuff, and I noticed that has a bunch of I don't know if they're chisel, like you see these gouges here.
Could be actually probably yes, that's probably what that is. Somebody laid it on its side on a bench and used it for a little anvil.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw that. I thought of your video.
Yep. And you could polish that with a handheld belt sander.
Mhm.
Okay. Get a little stack of belts, get about $25 worth of belts. You're going to need them.
Yeah.
And you could smooth it up with that, end up with even 220 would be good enough.
This happens to be a Streamlight 1L, 1AA. Got to look them up. There's a whole bunch of reasons that this is the one that I have in my pocket all the time. I'm a flashlight nut, and I've had probably over 500 flashlights, but this is the one that I will have in my pocket all the time. You can't believe how handy a flashlight is.
A few weeks back, I was leaving work, and we're actually, I think I might have mentioned this last time, but we're renovating an old horse barn near Hawkinson, Washington, into pretty nice city. You know, you might think of it as making a silk purse out of a sow's ear, but they're investing a lot into this place, making a wedding venue out of it. So it's a very, very fun job to be on. But I was leaving there, and just down the road from work, I want to say probably about 2.5 weeks ago now, I followed some estate sale signs. I had a pocket full of cash.
Oh,
and that
yeah.
was on the table for $10.
$10. That's a score.
Oh,
well, I felt bad. You know, I told the people running the sale, I said, you know, those are really, I mean, that's better than $100 hammer retail, I'm sure. They're like, $10. Are you going to use it? And I'm like, I'm a framer. I'm going to, so $10.
Great story.
So
what do you think? What do you think, man? How's it working? Do you like it?
And I love it. It's pretty well healed up now, but the first day I used it, I took a big chunk of hide off my left thumb. But
perfect. It's yours now.
Yeah, I'm used to it now. I'm loving it. That old Vaughn's going to hang on the wall now, I think. So
isn't it strange that you can give up that much mass, get some additional amount of speed, and get as much work done? It's just, but you've discovered that when you got to drive a bottom plate over, it drives the nails, but it doesn't move anything that's excessively heavy. But man, it's a sweet tool to carry around. That's for sure.
Nail driving machine. That's for sure.